Today episode is about building across borders and what really takes to work on software and IoT projects in Africa. We all know that AI is moving fast, but there are some other parts that people are not looking into that much, and that is where IoT comes in. A lot of people see the success story behind the scene. There are real challenges, real lessons, and real innovation happening every day. As you know, I'm your host, Babatunde Esanju, and I'm joined today by Ellen, a software engineer. Together, we'll be talking about navigating software engineering, IoT innovation, and what it is like to build technology that works uh, not only in Nigeria, not only in Africa, but globally. Uh, Today, if you are listening towards this episode, whether you're a developer founder or you're just about what is really happening around Africa tech ecosystem, this conversation might actually be what you actually need. Uh, Today, please, I have Ellen on this show with me. Ellen, please welcome and thanks for the accepting to appear on our show today on Tech Nigeria FM. You can basically just give us a little introduction about yourself, what you do, where you are, and the exciting things that you're actually building, not only in Africa, but globally. Thank you.
Yeah, hi everyone. Thank you so much, Babatunde, for this opportunity. My name is Helen Okereke, and I am from Nigeria. I am a software engineer, and also I do robotics and embedded systems. Currently, I am in Rwanda at the African Leadership University. Yeah, and yeah, I'm also the CEO of LGAD, which is basically an accident detection and emergency system. The company is building that system. Yeah, basically, we're trying to reduce the delay in emergency response during a crash because many people do not just actually die from the accident itself. You could still have like 1 minute to live, but because no one is aware that you are in such a situation, then you just die. Yeah, so that's the problem we're trying to solve, and I'm so glad to be here today.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ellen. Uh, what you're actually building, I've not even thought about it before. So it's actually a new innovation to me, and I
Hmm,
think I would love to know more about that particular innovation when you finally push it out.
definitely.
Thank you so much. Thanks so much. I just have like a few chat questions for us to just talk about. Not really an interview or a question, but just for myself, audience, to learn one or two things about what is actually going on within the Africa ecosystem, Nigeria, Rwanda, or anywhere we might be. So we know about some people knows about IoT. I've done something similar to building some minor Arduino system before, but what kind of problem is IoT uniquely positioned to solve within Africa Tech Hub? Since you've been in the space, and most women that I know, they don't normally go into this kind of space. They might go into product management and the likes, but I saw that you are actually unique, and I want to know more about the kind of problem that IoT is positioned to solve within the Africa Tech Hub.
All right. So yeah, you probably might not have heard of IoT, or you might have heard of it. But then IoT is Internet of Things, which is an industry that kind of connects the world. Let me put it that way. Okay, so it's kind of a network of interconnected devices that communicates together. And of course, IoT is solving a lot of problems in Africa. Yeah, especially in, okay, I think I have four areas I want to talk about. The first is healthcare. Just like what Elgad is doing, it's still IoT. Automatically detecting an accident, sending an emergency alert to people that matters. That's IoT. Yeah, so making healthcare more accessible when needed. IoT is really changing that space. And also, IoT is changing things in the energy industry. These days, I mean, we all have meter, yeah, and there are also energy management systems, energy monitoring systems. That's IoT. And also in agriculture, right now these days, you've seen a lot of projects around smart irrigation and drone agriculture and all that. So that's basically IoT, because there are sensors on the land monitoring many things. So it actually triggers, maybe water to water the plant. That's smart irrigation. And it's all about systems communicating together, sensors communicating, and things happening. And yeah, lastly, it's the security. Just like the fingerprint access we have these days. You go to a bank and then you can, something automatically just searches you, you enter and all that. So that is IoT. IoT is really changing a lot of things in Africa. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Thank you for that. I don't really know much about it, but I think there was a time that me and some of my guys were trying to build something for uh, smart greenhouse. Uh,
Hmm.
and then there was some point where someone mentioned something about uh, knowing the weather forecast, knowing one or two things about that. I think that's where the IoT comes in place based on this year's.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, okay. I think that's good one. I might think about it later in future if it's something I can venture into. Thank you for that. Yeah. So the other thing that I have, right, from your own experience, right, because you've done this thing a lot. Checking your profile, I've seen a lot of things that you've done with this IoT. What are the biggest technical challenges when building this IoT, especially in Africa?
Hmm. I
I
mean,
know.
you just said that you might look at it. It's a space that you might be interested in, right? This space is actually a one of resilience, and there's a lot, especially if you're building in Africa. One of the biggest challenges is the cost of the materials, the cost of building, the cost of the components. For people building software projects, it's kind of so easy for you to just sit with your lap. All I need is a laptop, right? If you have a good internet connection, then you can fly, you can build whatever you want, right?
Yeah.
But that is different when it comes to IoT, because you are building a full system that will be interacting with different other systems, right? So you need to build whatever it is, whether it's a device, it's a system, you need to build it. And of course, for you to build, you need components, right? So these components are not so easy to source here in Africa. You have to buy them from China. Just some little components, you can actually source them locally. But
Yeah.
depending on what you want to do, it's not gonna be easy. So you have to get components from outside Africa, or if you're in Nigeria, outside Nigeria, basically. And of course, the exchange rate, right? So it's not really costly there, but because of the exchange rate, it's kind of so costly. And yeah, that's why many people do not actually venture into this. Many builders like this, but of course, some of us are still pushing so hard. And another one is the power instability. Africa, we are still trying to get to that point where we have a constant electricity supply. And imagine you're building a system that is supposed to be monitored. Imagine you're building a security system, right, for a home. Then of course there should be a power supply, constant power supply in that home.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So imagine you build that security system, and then you come back, you're trying to enter your house and there is no light, you can enter your house. You are locked out of your house because there is no power. Yeah. So in terms of building a system that is reliable, in using IoT, we need a constant power supply, because IoT is building a system that never goes down, right? It's always on, it's always monitoring things, it's always logging things, and there have to be a constant power supply for it to be reliable. And then the connectivity problem too. Yeah.
Hmm. Uh, when you talked about the power supply, there are a lot of things that was going through my mind because I know that we are far, far behind when we talked about
Um,
in Nigeria, Africa. We are there are some countries that are actually doing well now. Uh, I don't know about Rwanda, but I know
yeah,
about
like the country where I am, Rwanda is doing so well. Yeah,
where we
that's
are
constant.
from. Uh, we all know what we are actually facing. But I think a lot of people are going into solar now, which can uh, to some extent be helpful, but
Yeah.
in this part of the world, right, to use solar they have a constant power supply. So why even venture into that? But I know, but we will get there. We will get there.
That's basically a burden because if you're building a system that have to be awake all the time to monitor, there need to be a constant power supply. Then you have to invest in solar, so that's like double cost.
Yeah.
You're trying to build everything together. Yeah, and that's a problem.
Yeah. So just a follow up question to one of my first question that I've asked. So you are the one that is coupling the IoT together, how do you solve the software part of it? Because there is hardware, there is software. How are you able to navigate both the hardware and the software together to make the application a solid one? Or do you have a team that you work with? Or I just want to understand the aspect.
Okay, for what we are building at Elgad, it's not just me. Yeah, of course. We're a founding team, and also we have a team of people working both in the hardware side and in the software side, right? Yeah, of course. One person cannot know everything, right? Even though as a technical founder, I understand what goes on in the hardware and I also understand what goes on in the software side. It helps me to manage the team better, but I am not just I'm not building alone, right? So, and that is one thing. If you are building, you don't have to build alone, because if you are building alone, then you're just building something personal. You're building from your own perspective. But when you have a team of builders, then you're going to factor in so many suggestions, and you're going to build a better system, right? So yeah, it's not just me. And IoT is a system that interacts, that exchange data online, right? And from what we are building, it's actually a hardware and software system, and both interact together. Yes, so we are working together to build that system.
Okay, okay. Now I understand perfectly. So you've worked in Nigeria a bit before moving down to Rwanda. How are
Yeah,
you
yeah.
how are you able to compare uh the tech ops, right, in Rwanda to Nigeria? Is there anything like IoT community in Nigeria that you're part of? And is there like IoT community in Rwanda that you are part of? Is there anything like can you just compare the two? The more reason I want to know this is I want to see how people are actually uh getting into the IoT community, just to know, because after this session there may be some real question or two that I want to I want to get into the community for me to learn one or two things to even know how to develop these things and the likes. So that's why I just asked that particular question.
Okay. So I've worked in Nigeria for a while, and yeah, of course, I've also worked here in Rwanda. And I would say that Rwanda is a growing ecosystem.
Oh,
It's a growing ecosystem and it's thriving. Like, when I mean growth, like, it's not like a slow growth. Yeah, it's not a slow growth. Yeah. So in terms of the people, Nigeria is actually doing a good job. They have the energy, they have the talent, they want to put things into action. And here in Rwanda, it's a bit slow, but it's a growing ecosystem and it's moving. Yeah. So of course there are IoT communities here, and yeah, I've seen different IoT projects, robotics projects here in Rwanda, and I would say yeah, it's a growing system. And also they have kind of a strong government support for innovation,
oh,
which is one thing that is very good. So the government, at all times they are sourcing for talents, they are looking for a way to develop that talent and making it a countrywide solution. So the government is very much open to receive the young innovations, the innovations by the young people, and support them. And that is one thing. So there are many programs that actually support young founders here in Rwanda, and they are very, very open to supporting. And also they have a system that works. They have a policy, a good policy that actually supports what you're building, majority
Okay.
of what you're building. Just like what we are building at Elgad, because of the country where we are, they have a system that is working already. They have an emergency system already. So it's kind of easier for us to build upon that system.
On top of that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. Wow.
So compared compared with Nigeria, scale and talent depth, Rwanda is kind of policy driven. For Rwanda, Nigeria, of course, we have the energy, we have the talent, but if when even when you have the energy and the talent in a system that doesn't work, it can't work, right? So the both matters.
Yeah. And when we consider the quick response of the emergency system, right, I think we are still far, far, far lacking behind in that particular aspect.
Hmm.
Yeah, because I'm in the UK and I see
Okay.
uh, whenever there is an emergency, you will see ambulance, you will see police, even
Yeah,
police. Before you know, there will be like 4 cars, 5 cars, and it might just be a little thing, just little thing, but you see them.
and that is how we do it.
And we're like, but where we are from, right? We all know. So we all know. And I believe that we just need to do more. And I think one of these session on this particular podcast, I will still find a way to bring an it as someone to come and even speak to what is actually the reason. Because in this place, we are not paying that much for that particular service, but we are getting that service.
Hmm.
So, and I believe is something that we can as well get from there. Uh,
Hmm.
thank you. And I believe that with the building of the LGAD, I think it can change some perspective in Nigeria and around the world as well. Thank you for
Yeah, it's
building.
a global product and it's going to scale, of course.
Thank you for building that. Thank you for building that. Yeah. So few more conversation chat around uh, technology because with the level of AI that is growing now, how is it helping you and your team to develop fast, scale, and to quickly push to the market? I just want to understand how you guys are making use of AI that we have nowadays to quickly build and push forward.
AI is actually something good.
Yeah.
And of course, that's going to stay. Every one of us would agree that AI is helping us
Yes.
in different aspects, whether it's your business, whether it's your career, whatever. AI
Yes.
is actually helping. And as a founder, of course, we use AI. I personally, I use AI to manage a lot of things. Yeah. Because as a founder who is still building, there are things you might not have in place already,
Yes.
right?
Sure.
There are things you might not have in place already. I would say AI is even my personal assistant because, yeah, because
That's what
there
most people are saying now.
yeah, actually it is, right? There are things I would want to do, and I mean it's just something that I could just give ChatGPT or whatever AI the context, and just ask it to draft something for me. And as far as it's not for academic use, as far as it's not for academic use, it can kind of help to draft something very fast. And all I have to do is to review to see what was drafted and go through it, make some changes, and it's way faster than doing something right from scratch, and of course, um in managing finances, making the whole financial calculation and everything, AI is also assisting me there. That is just for me as the kind of work I do with Elgad, right? And then for founders who are also building software projects, you can just use AI to put up something. It's kind of also for research based, because what we are building, we're also making a lot of research, and where you really putting a good use of AI into that. Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. Most of us are using AI nowadays, and I've even seen some companies job description that you need to know how to use AI to just
Yeah.
make your work faster. We're using it in our
Fast.
company. It's part of the subscription that we have. So, and even to write test cases here and there, it actually goes a long way for that. The other thing is there are a lot of opportunities, right? Like you mentioned
Mhm.
in the IoT space now. Uh, what can you say, right? Do you think African engineers should be paying more attention to it right now? Because as AI is growing, IoT too will be growing, right? So, do you think African engineers should be also be paying more attention to IoT now?
Yeah, I think it's a field that African engineers should really pay good attention to. You know, these are the trending fields, right? AI, data, because of course, as far as AI is there, data will never disappear. IoT as well. And, this is just a system that makes the world feel so connected. And this is the future. AI plus IoT is the future.
Oh,
And it's a
I love
field
that.
that, yeah, and it's a field that engineers, African engineers should really tap into. You might not be a hardware engineer, you might not be building the hardware device itself. There is a software part of IoT, there is the hardware part, because whatever system that is running in the device is a software code, right? So you could tap into understanding how the hardware device works, having some little knowledge on the builds, and also having some knowledge on how to build the software that works with the hardware. So it's not something that you should not pay attention to. It's something you really have to pay attention to. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think definitely, like I said, maybe I can still go into that also to also eat part of the cake. Yeah. So,
Okay.
a few more, then we can call it a wrap, right? Because I don't want to also take much of your time because I know you're busy. As a founder, is always it's not an easy job, right? It's not an easy work. So where do you see the future of IoT and innovation in Africa in the next few years to come? Because you've worked in Nigeria, you are working in Rwanda now. So that's like you've seen two spaces, right? So based on that, where do you see the future of IoT innovation in Africa in the next few years?
So in the next few years, I see, of course, IoT is going across every field, right? It's going across every field, whether it's healthcare, whether it's climate and energy, artificial intelligence also, smart city, agriculture. So IoT is really advancing things in these industries. And, just like what Elgad is doing and many more healthcare access solutions, this is something to watch out for in the future, where you are just, entering the hospital, and then a system just analyzes your body, it knows whatever is going on, you just enter and things are done very fast. That is the that is the idea of artificial intelligence and the internet of things, right? Because artificial intelligence, right, is a system, is giving a system an artificial intelligence, letting it analyze something on its own without needing any human's help. And then IoT and robotics is, having a hardware or something that you see together with the artificial intelligence. So instead of you to access the AI using your phone, there is a system built for you to, for it to make the analysis right there. And things are really going to advance a lot in the future.
Yeah, so there is something that I'm working on, but it's not really IoT based. Uh, because what I've realized, especially in this parts of the world is that
Mm-hmm.
even the emergency that we're talking about, before they can reach a place where that accident happened or the incident happened, it might take them few minutes for them to get there,
Mm-hmm.
right? And what I've realized is that for vulnerable people, right, there are times that they need like someone that is very near, like, I mean, like a neighbor to quickly attend to them, someone that needs CPR, right? And you
Mm-hmm.
have a neighbor that is certified, right? You have a neighbor that is certified with that. But because in this part of the we don't talk to each other, right? You have to wait for the ambulance to come. So I've seen
Mm-hmm.
that issue, and it too happens to people like elderly people, people that are vulnerable. But what they actually need at that point is to get someone that is like a neighbor that can quickly attend to that particular case. So with that,
Okay.
though there is a part of IoT, but like using some smart devices like that, but I think with a mobile app or something that you can quickly just press emergency alert, which is going to send a broadcast message to certify people, right, that are on the app, which are basically your neighbors. uh, I think that can also be of help. It's part of what I'm doing, though, but just to give a bit information about that, because that's what I've
Great
seen.
job.
Yeah, that's what I've seen. Yeah. Uh, Last but not the least, I want you to give an advice to engineers, right, that that are going into software. Maybe they can have a change of mind for us to have uh, much people in the IoT business, IoT engineers, or what do you think? I just want you to give an advice to people listening to us. Uh, we might have engineers, junior engineers that want to go into that. Uh, no one knows. I just want to give you to give an advice to that.
Okay. I mean, one
You've
of
been in the system, so you know actually. That's why.
okay. One of the things that have been driving me ever since I started this, or even before I started, is my passion and curiosity, and as well my resilience. So that's the summary of my story, right? And this is actually needed in everything you're building, but in especially the IoT industry, you have to practice resilience. Things aren't going to work the way you planned it to work, and you might not get the answers of something real quick, but you have to keep trying. You have to be resilient. It's even very easy. I wouldn't say very easy, but it's really easier for you if you're building a software project, because even when things don't go the way you want, nothing really there is nothing much spoils, right? Let me say it that way. Nothing much was actually affected. But most times, when you're building an IoT system and it's an error, it's costing you a lot. It's costing you a lot. So either I mean, you could burn a whole system. Like, imagine sourcing components to use in building, and then you make a mistake, you can burn the whole system.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's part of learning, but learning in IoT actually costs you a lot of money. It costs you a lot, but you have to keep building. Don't wait until you feel like you are really ready. You can just start building. So I've always been driven by um, the problems in my community. I wanted to solve problems. I wanted to build something that people can actually use to improve their daily lives, something that can actually help people. And that was why I was able to look around me to see the problem around me, right? So you don't have to build because you want to show off your engineering skills, right? Because you want people to see that your solution is really mad. You don't have to build like that. Yeah, because I mean, for you not to go hungry as an engineer, it's not just about building. Yeah. If you want to build what you can actually roll out and what people can actually use, you have to identify a problem around you, a problem that people face,
Yes.
and design a solution that actually, and not just designing a solution for people distant from you, design a solution with the people, right? So
Yeah.
constantly receiving the feedback and incorporating it into whatever you're building. If not, you're just going to build a system that is a burden to some people. And then also think globally. I mean, you can be building locally, of course, just like what we are doing, we're building locally, but think globally. Is
Yeah.
this a solution that could actually scale to other parts of the world? Or is it just what only my community is facing? What is the plan? What's scalability plan? You have to think of that when building. And most times, not everything that seems like a problem is actually a problem. I mean, there's a whole lot in business. So you might actually feel like you're building and people are going to buy into it, people are going to use it. I've seen a lot of people build, and at the end, it just dies out because you wanted to harness your technical skills, your building skills, without thinking of if it's really relevant in your environment. Yeah. So, and keep pushing. It's not easy, like I said, yeah, but definitely you will get there.
Yeah, definitely you get there. I so much believe. Uh, I don't know, but I do ask all my guests because you've been in this space for a while. Should in case we have engineers that want to go into this space, are you open to mentorship? Mentorship in the sense that you are not writing for them, but they just need someone that can basically hold their hands when they burn device, when they are building something and they're being blocked. They just need someone that, okay, I've passed through this particular stage before. Uh, do this, do this, do this. And you know where you normally source all these components from, uh, where it's cheaper, where uh small engineers can actually go there to get some of this. So I'm just asking, is there an opportunity for engineers to have like a mentorship program, maybe two, three, depending on how free you are? Because I believe that after this particular session, you might have one or two engineers that can reach out.
Okay, one thing I forgot to mention is there is also a very strong need to join a community when you are a builder, right? So join community of builders, and of course in the IoT industry there are communities. Arduino has a community,
Yeah.
the Pi community, and the different communities that actually support builders, right? Arm community and all that. So you can join these communities that can put up, some challenges for you to work on, and you can win some components for free. Yeah. And if you are in this community, any opportunities that comes out, you will get the opportunity to kind of key into it firsthand. So don't be building in isolation. Don't just be building alone. Um, Work with people, right? Know people too. And yeah, of course, I'm open to mentorship, not a full mentorship, but I'm open to, let me say, a session where I can answer your question. But
Yeah.
for now, I'm just so engaged with some other things that I can't take up a full mentorship with people. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you, Elaine, for joining me today and for sharing your experience. It's been great hearing your perspective, right, on building this software and IoT solutions across different environments in Nigeria, in Rwanda. Thank you so much. To everyone listening, I believe this conversation will have show you some pictures of what it takes to build uh, the challenges, the growth, and the opportunity that basically exists within the Africa tech ecosystem. If you like this episode, please you can share it with someone that might find it useful, that want to go into uh, IoT. And don't forget to subscribe and follow us on Tech Niger FM on YouTube. And for more conversation like this. I'm your host, Babatunde Sanju, and this is Tech Niger FM. Thank you for listening, and I will see you in the next episode. Thank you so much.